To combat terror attacks, President Trump is increasing screening checks on laptops and other technology. Meanwhile, the Transportation Security Administration is considering getting rid of passenger screening at more than 150 small to medium-sized airports. This change would only apply to airports that operate flights with 60 seats or fewer. While this wouldn't impact the airports in Peoria and in Bloomington, passengers are still concerned.
I think it'll hurt smaller airports. I think people will drive out of their way to go to the bigger airports so they can feel more secure about their well-being and, people around them.
Terrorists are really good at figuring out where the weak spots are, and if we lax the security in the smaller airports, I think that we're asking for problems.
Hearing from people there, and joining me now is Gene Olson, the airport director for Peoria International Airport. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Glad to be here.
First question, I wanted to just confirm that these changes, if they were to come into effect, they wouldn't impact PIA.
Right. They said something about the 150 least busy airports, and we're well above that. We're probably 7 times busier than the airports that this would affect.
All right. And these screenings, we know that airport security really changed after the September 11 attacks in 2001, and TSA screenings have been a large part of that. Do you think that within taking away these procedures, what's the impact of that would be? I know they said it could save a lot of money, but is that worth really having this conversation?
Well, if you look at where the cut would fall, I looked at an airport where the cut would fall, and they have 3 50-seaters a day that go to O'Hare. So first of all, where are you going to park that airplane to put those passengers into the public area? And then you can't take screened passengers, put them on a non-sterile airplane. So the airline's not going to be able to use that airplane again. Yeah. So my guess is they'll cut service to those communities. Nobody wants to see that, and that would have a huge negative economic impact on all those communities. So I just don't see it as a workable possible solution.
And you see it all from a different perspective than the average person who goes in, the average passenger. Can you elaborate, when you're talking about the TSA screenings, all of the other variables that are impacted by simply what we consider just going through the screenings, but it impacts a lot of things as far as the interconnectivity of the airplanes.
Right. It used to be in the old days that there were very small airports that did that, but that stopped after 9/11. So once you cross security, you're considered sterile, and the airplane is sterile, and so that airplane doesn't just fly to O'Hare and then come right back. Usually that airplane flies to the big hub, and then the airline takes it somewhere else, and they're flying all over the country. So you're basically, for the airline, you're going to take that airplane out of service, and they're just not going to live with that. So it really is the other thing is that kind of drives me crazy is I heard in the story that they were talking about the big airports having better technology. They have the same technology that we have, they just have more of it. So it's not going to save any cost, it's just going to shift costs that they're spending at one airport and move it to another, with huge economic impact at the airports that would be affected.
Well, it will surely continue to be a discussion, and one in which a lot of people on your end and our end as passengers will be looking into. Not sure the likelihood yet at this point of them actually doing it, but certainly.
I can't picture it happening.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it's going to pass the reality test. I think it was a trial balloon that somebody threw out there, and it's going to get shot down by members of Congress and the public and everybody else.
All right. Well, we will certainly see. Again, Gene Olson, Airport Director, Peoria International Airport. Thanks for coming on and talking about it.